So it seems like Caitlyn Jenner has come out and said that trans women are not real women. I've been saying this for years now, and it's good to know that a celebrity is exposing the truth about the agenda in the industry, in Hollywood, in real life, schools, churches, whatnot. Like, the world needs to know the truth, especially of what's going on in the Paris Olympics. So, if you don't know who Caitlyn Jenner is, she is a former Mr. Olympian. Well, he is a former Olympian that transitioned to a woman. Now, you know, the Jenners and the Kardashians are a big problem in society right now because of all of this feminism mindset that is destroying society as a whole, and why I personally don't think is a good fit to become their role models in life, because all that is doing is making a lot of men in the United States not want to marry and date women because of feminism. But I think when it comes to Caitlyn, however, she's pretty much just came out and exposed it, and I'm glad that she is saying the truth. And I know there are a lot of people that watch my videos sometimes be accusing me of being transphobic because I'm expressing my truth, and I'm expressing the truth. The truth is that even though you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. If you want to be trans, cool, by all means, live your life to the fullest. But you have to understand that you're still a man with a penis inside of you. That's the honest truth. I mean, I still love you for who you are, but I'm just expressing my truth, honestly. Former Olympian turned Fox News commentator Caitlyn Jenner has said trans women are not real women and called for chromosome testing to be brought back in sports. So that is pretty much a reference to the 2024 Olympics, because right now that sporting event is a mess right now, because I heard that certain people died out there because of what was going on over there, and I'm not really surprised. And if you watch my latest video on why Paris went black all of a sudden, because they got caught mocking Jesus and they got karma instantly. So yeah, if you're not paying attention to the signs, I don't know what's going on. Since coming out publicly as trans in 2015, Jenner 74 has courted controversy for her views on the trans community. Jenner, who won the decathon gold at the 1976 Summer Olympics in Montreal, has been vocal in backing restrictions on trans athletes competing in women's sports, criticized woke culture, and decried the radical rainbow mafia, whatever it is. I guess she's talking about the rainbow colors that is representing the LGBT community. And again, you know, everybody has their rights to their opinions on stuff, but to me, I really think that they need to just bring all of this back. So that way we want to see women versus women and men versus men in sports, instead of having these transgender competing in women's sports, because that's going to make biological women feel unsafe. And I don't want them to just completely destroy their confidence and motivation to compete in sports in the Olympics because of a trans person. Like, you've seen what happened to the boxer, even though she cried because she lost in 46 or 48 seconds because the man punched her in the face so hard to the point where she quit. And I really don't understand why they're allowing this to happen. It's beyond me. Discussing the topic of trans athletes, Jenner and ex-Olympian swimmer Sharon Davis, who also campaigns against trans inclusion in sports, came together for an interview featured in a Telegraph. So this one is really interesting. So I'm kind of curious is to know, what did she say in all of this? Because we've been talking about this on social media. I haven't though, but I've been paying attention. I've been watching all of this fiasco going on social media, and why I'm not a fan of it as well, because I don't want to see biological women get hurt when a trans athlete is competing against them. Number one, that's a man, first of all. Why is he fighting a female in the ring? That's where I have a problem with. I mean, if you want to do that, why not just have a boxing match for a transgender person, a transgender versus a transgender? Think about that. Whether it's a boxing match, a karate match, a wrestling match, or competing in basketball. I mean, if you do that for the trans community, I'm sure the trans community are going to end up being excited about it just for them. But I'm not a fan of them fighting women in sports. I'm sorry, I can't rock with that. The pair reminisce about their Olympic careers and recall the mandatory sex tests they had to undertake to compete. So this is what Caitlyn had to say. I have a little car from '76 that was a sex screen, and it was so simple, just a little swap to the inside of your mouth once in a lifetime, because humans cannot change their biological sex. Kind of like what you did, Caitlyn, but okay. Jenner said he has been pushed for sex tests to return to sports, saying if he continued down this road, it would be pretty much the end of women's sports as we know it. I'm someone who went through a complete change, and I can still hit a golf ball 280 yards, Jenner continued. I mean, don't forget, he used to play for golf a long time ago, so he still got it. But the thing about it is that if they're going to continue to go down the worst path in the Olympics, like in 2024, where they decided to disrespect the Last Supper, that was the first red flag. The second red flag is when they have a transgender compete in women's sports. That is the big problem that I have. And another flag that I have is that the boxer that lost the match, she ended up bending the knee and apologizing. It's like, why are you apologizing to the people that did you dirty? Like, you could have been upset about it, like I would have been if my daughter would have told me that she wanted to compete in the Olympics. I would have told her no, because you know how bad and weird society has become nowadays, though. And like I said, I'm not hating on trans people or never did, but I'm just speaking from facts. I'm just expressing my opinions like I have the right to. But the thing about it is that you should have certain events for the trans community instead of them being competing in women's sports. I'm just saying. Okay, so this is what she said here, and I love how she just went off. And I love how she's not holding back from the truth. They keep saying, oh, I'm a real woman, and I'm going, no, you're not. He said, I will use your preferred pronouns. I will treat you like a female. You can run and dress and do whatever you want. I have nothing against that. It's fine, but biologically, you're still a male. The thing about Caitlyn is that one minute she can tell the truth, and the next minute she can be delusional, but at this moment she's not. She's basically saying what I've been saying all the time. Like, I know in the Bible it says that you shall not judge a book by its cover. We can't judge people, and it's hard to do that. But if you're doing something that you ain't got no business doing, of course you're going to be held accountable for your actions. And that's the only thing we can do. And pray for them. So I also want to break down some things that she said on the bottom here, and I think is what made me respect this man as a whole. He added, let me explain. I am a biological male, okay? I'm XY. There's nothing I can do to change that. If you believe in gender dysphoria, and I think most people do realize it's not a disease, it's a mental condition. It's not a disease, it's a mental condition. Bro. I sometimes think that, do people really, really believe what they say they are? Or they're just putting up a front to make a fool out of themselves? Because that's what I've been seeing on social media, and I really don't understand why do they believe in their own lies instead of understanding their own truths. That is the one thing that I'm mostly concerned about this new generation. Maybe it's because their parents failed them, or the school or the system failed them, because if they're going around the street allowing society to make them be something that they're not, or they could just embrace of what God gave them and embrace who they are inside. But mentally, they're gonna have to fix everything and stop believing in lies. So this part where it says it's not a disease, it's a mental condition, I believe that in full fact, trust me. Just like some people are left-handed and some people are right-handed, it's kind of the way you're born. And I've dealt with it my whole life. And I think the last part is him talking about when a person that doesn't feel good about themselves, of who they are growing up, they always felt like they're this other person. They made a drastic choice of changing of who they are right now. And people are still considering them as men because they have a penis inside of them. Yes, they have titties, they have female hormones, they have long hair, long nails, a big butt. That's true, but they're still men. And the only thing we can do is just explain the truth without being nasty. That's all Caitlyn has been doing. It's just expressing her truth. She wasn't sound, she didn't sound nasty. She didn't come off as transphobic or none of that crap that y'all be saying all the time. But the ones that are saying some transphobic stuff are the ones that hate society, not the ones that are telling the truth. I consider myself a trans person. I am still genetically male. I changed all of my ID right down to my birth certificate. So technically, yes, I am female, but on the other hand, I know I'm not. Okay, so I like how he's being honest with himself. Like, why would I call a person a she when he's still a man? Regardless, but it's just how I feel. So I like how he's being honest with himself instead of being delusional. The interview comes as Jenner is set to launch a new podcast with ex-son-in-law Lamar Odom. Wait, so he has a podcast with Lamar? Called Keeping Up with Sports. Oh, I like this little jab called Keeping Up with the Kardashians. But nowadays, it's called the Kardashians. They're still the worst people in America. No cap. The new show, which the pair will host alongside Zach Hirsch, or however you pronounce his name, will reportedly take a fresh look at sports and feature Sugar Ray. Oh yeah, the first episode. Oh, I gotta check that out. It sounds interesting, to be honest with you. Listen, regardless of how you feel about Caitlyn Jenner, he's spot on. He exposed the truth, and he flat out just admitted it. Instead of being delusional, he understood why he is the way he is, instead of like being stupid and not realizing that, hey, you know what? Maybe I am wrong about myself. I'm still a man at the end of the day. And I take full accountability of how I turn out. But at the same time, I'm learning still. And what he said about the Olympics is all true. And the only thing we can do is just be honest with ourselves and stop lying to people about who we are, and just embrace who we are as a person and stop lying to ourselves, because that is the worst thing that you can still do, is lie to yourself. So shout out to Caitlyn Jenner. Link to the original video will be down below.